Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Welcome to the Stay of Homekins.
It's Stay of Homekins. This is a podcast featuring us. My name is Paul F. Tompkins.
My name is Janie Haddad Tompkins.
She is an actress.
He is a comedian.
We're a married couple living in Los Angeles. And
Together.
We are not estranged. We maintain a shared residence.
We're married and we live in the same house
And this
in Los Angeles.
This is our after dinner podcast.
Yeah, we do our date night. We do it like once a month right now. Who knows? Maybe we'll ramp it back up. Maybe we'll keep it.
Things aren't getting better.
I noticed that.
Here's what I like.
Yeah.
I like that the virus seems to be figuring stuff out at all times and getting people sick and re-sick, and yet we're not bringing back any preventative measures.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I don't like
Isn't
that.
that funny?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, happy birthday to my dad. He turned 82 this week.
Happy birthday, Papa Haddad.
Sam Haddad. Happy birthday. Shout out to Dad.
That's right. Do you think he had a good birthday?
I don't know.
What does he like to do? What's his favorite ice cream?
He loves to he loves to play pickleball.
He does love to play pickleball.
Pickleball is like his life.
Pickleball is life.
Pickleball is life.
Now, you know, he got hurt. He and his wife both had pickleball related injuries.
Well, you know, when
And a friend of ours,
when you go hard.
You either go hard or you go home.
That's
and then,
right.
Then you go hard, then you have to go home. And then a friend of ours, who shall remain nameless, who's considerably younger than your dad, also got a pickleball related injury.
We don't get pickleball related injuries because we've never played pickleball.
It's true. It hasn't come for us
But
yet.
we should try it, I guess. I don't know.
Everybody says how fun it is.
It's so hard to, like, where do you start? Like, where do you go? What do you do? We don't even have the right shoes. I don't know.
I know. Where is there a pickleball court in L.A.?
I've got my weekend water. That's the best I can do right now.
Honey, I hear you and I understand.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See?
So the last time we talked with our lovely listeners, we've done a lot. Like, a lot has happened. We went to Vegas.
That's right. We went to Las Vegas, Nevada.
I was on Election Profit Makers. You had your variety show.
It's true. A lot of things happened.
I mean,
That's very true. We went to the Hollywood Bowl and we saw Martin Short and Steve Martin.
That was so fun. We went with Scott and Kulop to the Hollywood Bowl on July 4th. We saw the fireworks.
Our friends Scott and Kulop treated us, I'm assuming, because we did not offer to pay them. Treated us to...
We took care of the food and bevs.
Which I'm sure that money was the same.
Who knows?
They had great seats at the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh my gosh.
And
so awesome.
It was a ball. It was so much
The
fun.
weather was like perfection. Martin Short and Steve Martin are like so fucking funny.
They were hilarious.
In their 70s.
Yeah.
And like, it was
music
awesome.
was great.
I felt like that was like a bucket list thing I didn't know was a bucket list thing.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Absolutely. I had the feeling right before it started.
Like, it was special, but I didn't. Yeah,
I knew
didn't
it was
know
going to be special. But right before it started, I was like, oh my God, I'm actually going to see these guys who are like heroes.
Yes.
I'm going to see them live.
Yes.
And I got like even more excited. But
I didn't know what the show was going to be. Like, I knew that they were appearing at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yes.
But I didn't know what the act was.
I had an idea because they had a Netflix special.
Okay.
They really didn't repeat anything that I remember from the Netflix special. And they've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
And it was really funny. Like, anytime they were doing the comedy stuff, the two of them together, like, it was joke after joke after joke after joke, and every joke
dense JPM.
Every joke was
what
funny.
we call JPM.
Jokes per minute.
Jokes per minute.
Yes.
Dense JPM.
Dense JPM.
Dense JPM.
Unassailable JPM. And Steve Martin plays with his band, the Steep Canyon Rangers. Although maybe they're their own band and they play with him.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, the whole thing was great.
Yeah, it was. And the LA
Philharmonic.
The Philharmonic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 It's the Philharmonic.
They don't just play at Walt Disney Concert Hall. They're allowed to play other venues.
Well, Hollywood Bowl is like their summer home. That's
Yes,
like
it's
that's
true.
the whole thing.
And they wear their white dinner jackets.
Anyway, Cuckoo's out early. Oh my God,
thanks for
Cuckoo.
joining us.
Man, I don't know how to live anymore.
Okay, that was an abrupt change of subject.
Well, it's just like, how's everyone doing out there? Like, it's like a rough time.
It's weird and it's exhausting.
I'm like, do we have long COVID or are we just alive in 2022?
Yes.
Are we had COVID in May.
Just beaten down by the world, our corner of the world, the United States of America?
The whole world, though, is not doing well. They just killed that Japanese.
I live here.
Oh, they just assassinated that Japanese.
Yeah, that was strange. Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He was apparently not the greatest guy, though.
I don't know about that. I feel like he was like.
I read some stuff.
He was like a mixed bag. Listen, I don't pretend to know anything about foreign policy.
Sure.
But, you know, if somebody like tried to kill Obama, that'd be fucking fuck y'all. If anybody did that. Like, just fuck y'all. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
But weird. It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's just a weird time.
Yeah, there's bad stuff happening all over the place. And it's just...
The world is embracing authoritarianism. Did you know that? The whole fucking world?
I mean, it feels that way for
the whole
sure.
free world or whatever the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. Hungary, whatever. Like, I don't think it's good. Here's what I don't get about fascism. Like,
look, a lot of it makes sense to me. Here's what I don't get about it.
Like, you would think, like, they would have to have, like, charismatic messengers.
Yes.
But they don't. I thought it was like, when, like, growing up and learning about history and stuff, in my mind, it was like, oh, these must have been, like, charismatic messengers of this. And so people bought in.
Yeah.
That's not even proving to be remotely the case.
Here's the thing, though, because it, of course, and we've talked about this before, that it shares DNA with cults. So
right.
And cults, they always say, like, he was so charismatic. You couldn't take your eyes off him. And then you see the guy they're talking about, and he's like some little dork. And with
that's
like,
true. Or
so
like Charles Manson looks like a gross, scrubby weirdo.
He looks as crazy as the shit.
He has crazy eyes.
Yes. But like, to me, a charismatic speaker, let's say, is somebody like a charismatic figure who can inspire cult-like behavior. Somebody like Tony Robbins or something, right? Because he's telling you, he's got a smile on his face and he's telling you, I'm going to fix this. It's going to be great. Here's all you need to do.
Like, he acts positive.
Yeah. Although then apparently he's not, he's also a monster. But the people that are inspiring like violence and shit.
Yeah.
Are always these fucking losers.
Assholes. Total assholes.
Losers.
They're just like assholes.
Like Hitler was apparently this rousing speaker.
That's
and
what
then
they said.
You look at him like, who would listen to this fucking weirdo?
He looks sweaty. And
he looks sweaty as shit.
And fucking angry.
Hitler, you're busted.
Here's the thing about, so it's funny you bring up cults because I don't know if, I think we maybe brought it up on the last one, but like, I don't think we got deep into it, but like, I watched that series and then I made you watch it. And then I made everyone I know watch it. The docuseries, The Deep End on Hulu about this spiritual teacher. Wait, you laughing because I made everyone watch it?
No, I'm laughing because she's a spiritual teacher.
She's a spiritual teacher / influencer because like her whole spiritual teachings like grew from internet culture, like YouTube video, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she has like influencer kind of like savvy, you know? It's called The Deep End. Her name is Teal Swan. So I didn't know anything about it. And
I thought it was a sequel to Black Swan.
I didn't know anything about her or anything. I thought my friend Catherine told me to watch it. And then I asked her and I was like, aren't you the one that told me to watch Deep End? And she was like, no, I haven't seen it. And I was like, what? Somebody told me to watch it.
Was it Teal Swan?
I don't know.
Did
but
she influence you to watch it?
You were gone. Like you were like in Portland with Mark Evan Jackson doing those shows.
I go off on my little walkabouts.
And I was like, I'm going to watch this. And the whole thing about it is like, is she a cult leader or is she, you know, like that whole thing?
Yeah.
And that was the one time where I was like, I can see she is nothing like the gross cult leader people because she's like really attractive and she has nice skin and she's tall and like kind of ethereal. And I was like, oh, I could see how you could be drawn to her.
Yeah.
Because she has this sort of energy and aura about her that is like appealing. And I found myself like, I was like, you know, when I was a kid, I was like really obsessed with Crystal Gayle.
Yeah.
Like I had every Crystal Gayle album and stuff. And she has like long, dark brown hair like Crystal Gayle and like piercing, you know, eyes. And I was like, I felt myself being like, oh, she's like so like mesmerizing.
Really? You didn't tell me this.
But then like as the story unfolded, I was like, oh my God, like she's not great.
Well, what's amazing?
I don't want to like spoil the series.
No,
yeah,
but it's not a flattering portrayal of her, and you can tell that she gave the documentary crew all kinds of access,
unfettered.
Yeah. And she just comes across as like a really horrible person.
Yeah. But, and then like I went on, so I got like kind of into the docuseries and then I went on this like crazy rabbit hole deep dive.
This is what you
do. Yeah. Like, well, I'd never heard of her. And I was like, what? Like she has like millions of followers. Yeah. Like I was just like, this whole thing exists that you don't know about. It's like that when January 6th happened, I didn't even have the TV on. Like I was like doing something else and people started texting me like, they just evacuated Mike Pence. And I'm like, why? For what? Like I didn't know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I had no awareness of this 1 million person movement to like murder the vice president. You know what I'm saying? Like I just didn't know. Like I'm living my life.
You didn't know it like as the day was going on. You weren't watching this, and you didn't.
I turned it on once I started getting the text messages because I was like, "What?" But I had like no clue that like January 6th was like this special whatever. The same way I didn't know Teal Swan like there's just like things that are out there that are existing in this strong way. That you may not, because you're living your life and you're just like trying to get work and show business and stay afloat and pay your bills and like have a relationship with your parents and blah, blah, you know, whatever. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And like, but there's this whole like internet side of the world that is existing in crazy like fervor.
Yeah.
That I had no idea about.
It's too much internet.
It's like, you have to just, I don't know. You have to be very careful, I guess. Anyway, so I went to this crazy rabbit hole and then like I learned all about her and sort of like where she kind of comes from in terms of like, there was like this whole satanic panic period in like the 80s or 90s or something. Yeah. And like she was kind of like part of it and got was
how old is she?
Well, as a child, she was like therapized by this woman who apparently like implanted.
Oh, I forgot about her fucked up childhood.
Like false memories into people and stuff, and like had her license revoked, but then got it back. I don't know. Like, there's just like a whole like crazy like spiritual shit that goes on. That's weird.
You're younger than me, so
not by much.
How much do you remember of the Satanic Panic?
I mean, okay, so like when I was like a teenager growing up on Sullivan's Island, I remember at my Taekwondo class, there were these like people in my class that seemed kind of satanic-y. And there was rumors that there were like sacrificing people in the fort on Sullivan's Island. People who are like familiar with like Sullivan's Island would understand like there's and I like went down in there and like looked around and there was like graffiti and this and that, you know.
But you didn't find skeletons.
No, I mean, it wasn't.
Pentagrams.
The Satanic Panic thing was more like, it felt like a kid thing. Mm-hmm. It didn't feel like my parents were like, yeah, whatever. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, not your parents, of course. But do you remember a movie? There was a TV movie called Mazes and Monsters. Mm-mm. And it starred Chris Makepeace from Meatballs and My Bodyguard.
I don't know this actor.
He was a great child actor. And I think he's behind the camera now.
Okay.
And a young Tom Hanks.
What?
This was like one of his first post-Bosom Buddies
when you say,
things.
Yeah, but like an adult. He wasn't, because Tom Hanks wasn't like a child actor, was he?
No, he was not a child. I think they were playing people in their 20s.
Okay.
And it was based on a Dungeons and Dragons. It was a Dungeons and Dragons type game, right?
Uh-huh.
But there was a cultish or black magic or whatever element to it that made Tom Hanks go crazy. And then he thought he was in the game.
Was it like...
This is all from memory, by the way.
Was it supposed to be like a cautionary tale?
Yes, it was. Because they thought they were looking at things like Dungeons and Dragons because it had magic in it. In the way that people looked at Harry Potter and were like, that's black magic or whatever.
Oh, people did that with Harry Potter?
Yeah, evangelicals won't let you, like their kids can't like read Harry Potter books because it's satanic. It's black magic.
And their book isn't just as magical.
Well, I mean, now this is the hilarious conundrum. Your feet are on me.
I know they're not on you. You pushed your legs on. Toward my feet.
I moved my legs away, and now they're getting on me.
No, I always put my feet on that chair.
I know you do.
Okay, fine. Move them around. By the way, we co-tweeted earlier, and now you're getting now you're getting the real inside story. The co-tweet was a lie. This is behind the curtain.
The co-tweet, which was, "Hi, this is weird." LOL.
I wrote that. I composed it.
Yeah.
Well, I opened my Twitter and it was like, "Would you like to co-tweet with someone?" And I was like, "What is this?" So I clicked on it, and I was like, "Okay, I'll just invite Paul to this tweet."
I don't know where that started. I noticed it on Instagram lately that you can collaborate with someone.
Collab.
You can do a collab.
Hey, check out my collab with Paul on Twitter.
But the tweeting thing is so weird.
I mean, in a way, I was kind of like, oh, we could tweet like, oh, we're about to record a Stay of Homekins. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, we also have a Stay of Homekins Twitter feed that people follow. So I don't know.
Do they follow it for updates, do you think? Because there aren't any.
I update it. Every time we put a new show, I update it.
I stand corrected.
And then I read our mentions, and sometimes I retweet when people engage about the show.
Okay. All right.
Oh, my God. I do so much work.
Poor Cinderella.
I do so much like unacknowledged work in the creative space. Anyway, I'm finding it hard to be creative just personally. I'm working on it. Mm-hmm. I'm working on it.
I'm feeling that way too, where I want to be creative and it's very difficult. Like I think of things that I want to write or I want to perform and I think about them all day long, but actually sitting down to start the work of it is it's very hard to make myself do it.
This is what's so funny about the whole thing is because like in terms of creative process, there is definitely a stage where thinking about things is part of the creative process. Of
course.
Like that's just like part of it.
Of course.
But sometimes it's hard to know if you're just like thinking about like you're thinking about it or you're procrastinating because you're too like worn down to generate the idea or like bring the idea to fruition. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. And let me tell you something. In terms of being worn down, I'm a straight up nub right now.
You're a nub.
I'm just a nub.
You're just a nub.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's sad, isn't it? That I became a nub?
Don't be a nub.
I don't want to be a nub.
Oh, how do you get out of nub?
I don't know. I'm trying. I'm feeling like a little bit better. I don't know. Talking to people helps. I got to go back to.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Talk about satanic panic. Paul was just possessed by a demon.
A yawn demon.
A yawn Yondeman.
Yondeman. I
Yeah.
got to go back to therapy.
Yeah, we
Go back
talked
to
about
talk
this.
therapy, yeah.
I'm surprised you're talking about it.
I'm not ashamed.
No, I know you're not ashamed, but like we've talked about this before, but this feels like real suddenly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to pretend I'm a therapist for 5 seconds?
on mic?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, sure.
Hey, Paul, how are you?
I'm not too good lately. I've been a little depressed and
Feeling like a nub.
oh my God. Can I double your fee?
Sure. Did you have my Venmo? Here, scan it. Open your
Venmo.
phone. Open your phone.
That seems kind of low rent to me.
No, it's the modern. It's just modern.
I know it's modern, but I don't know.
Do you have a crypto wallet?
Ew, I'm out of here.
Wait a minute, Nub.
Don't call me Nub.
Come back.
My name is Paul.
You're not done being a nub until we fix this.
Jeez.
Should I be?
What if it's like that?
I don't think.
do?
I don't think it's gonna be like that. I don't think it's gonna be like that. It's not gonna be like that.
Finding a therapist is hard. I think I'm going to first talk to my old therapist, see if I can get back with her.
Mm-hmm.
She was so-
Reunited and it feels.
What if I
so
sang that during my session? But maybe she does telehealth now
Everyone does telehealth. It's the dawn of the new.
because she's
This
so far
is the
away.
dawning of the age of coronavirus.
we went 2 different ways, but we're still together.
So no, she has to do telehealth. That's my therapist never stopped. I still see my therapist
Right.
on telehealth
Right.
to this day.
I stopped seeing my therapist before
a pandemic.
everyone had to do it.
No, I understand that, but I'm certain that
Do
that.
you?
Wow. Okay. Anyway, this is like, who knew that like after the pandemic, which by the way, it's not over because there's still like a virus and another virus, monkeypox. Not into that one.
I don't like the sound of it.
How come there's not like a virus that's like, oh my God, like your skin's going to be like super awesome after it? You know what I'm saying?
I do, but I think seldom do we get viruses that have benefits.
Why?
I don't know. Like whatever a virus needs to do in our bodies.
Yeah.
Can't one of those things be positive for us?
That's what I'm saying. I think we talked about this like early days. Because
Did we
I
really?
feel like I've wondered it before. Like for real. Like I don't understand. If they mutate, why don't they mutate like
Well, here's what I guess
better?
this is the answer, right?
Do you know?
Is that anything that's unpleasant is a warning to us that something bad is going on.
Mhm.
And things that are pleasant are a sign that something good is happening. And you can't mix them up. So if you had like flawless skin and it was like, oh, you're about to enter liver failure. Like you wouldn't go to the doctor because you're like, I look great.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like your body is like trying to survive.
Yes.
So it's like we're going to develop these pussy sores that fall off.
Ew.
That's monkeypox. I'm not making that shit up.
Well, I'm not worried because I had monkeypox as a kid.
You did not. It's a smallpox thing. And no one
I had
had
smallpox as a kid too.
No, smallpox I thought they eradicated.
Yes, they did, honey. Honey. You know I joke around.
I just don't want to spread misinformation.
honey.
Okay, but I just don't want to spread misinformation.
But you know I like to have fun.
I know you're a
I
comedian.
like to fool around. And
I get it.
Just josh with everybody.
I get it.
I just like to be silly. That's all.
I get it, but I just am like, with the virus shit, it goes too far.
But wouldn't it be funny though if
people could
misinformation
take
got
a
spread
joke
from this? If they were like, "Oh, I heard kids are getting."
I heard kids are what?
I heard smallpox is back and kids are getting it.
If misinformation spreads from this, I'll never leave my bed ever.
I mean, it would be fun. We get into Wikipedia.
I don't want to be in Wikipedia. Is that weird?
I've never thought about it, but I guess not. You might be in there already.
I don't think so. I don't want to be in Wikipedia.
Should we look?
I don't need to be in Wikipedia. Do you know what I'm saying?
No one needs to be in Wikipedia.
I know my own history and my own personal truth.
Citations not needed.
Yet there is some like aging issues I'm having. But okay, here's the deal. If I died tomorrow, who needs the Wikipedia page of me? Like, what's the point? Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, future historians.
Well, I didn't fucking do shit. I just live my life.
Don't think if our misinformation leads people to lose their minds and storm the World Health Organization.
Oh my God.
If I tell people, look, you're very special.
Yeah.
Go to the World Health Organization and fight for your freedom.
Fight like hell.
Fight like hell.
I love you. You're special.
You're very special. I love you.
I love you.
Go to the WHO.
Guys, we're quoting Trump because this is like, here's.
Oh my God, you're right. We are.
You knew that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can't tell what's going on anymore. It's very hot in here.
It is hot. It is hot in here.
It's July.
We've taken off all our clothes.
I'm getting hot. Does Nelly have a Wikipedia? Yeah, of course. Nelly has a Wikipedia. Here's the deal.
You think he mentions the Band-Aid?
Yeah, I wore the Band-Aid. All I really care about is January 6th consequences.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can think about.
When's the next hearing?
Tuesday.
It's a good day for
Then
it.
prime time on Thursday. Tuesday.
Ooh.
So Tuesday is 7 a.m. I'll set my alarm, obviously, so I can watch. And then Thursdays is prime time. Supposedly, like the final one was going to be prime time, like the wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking Thursday's the wrap up, but I'm also kind of thinking just based on how they're operating, that they're kind of like, we'll have another one if we need to, like an October surprise or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And you can listen to my episode of Election Profit Makers, but like I got into the market, this bad market that I need to get out of.
Oh no, honey. Are you going to ruin us?
Yeah, I put money on like he'll be charged before September 1st. And I don't think he's going to be charged before September 1st.
It's right around the corner.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
However, here's what my plan is.
Okay.
So like on predictit.org, which is the Election Profit Makers podcast thing where you predict the markets or whatever that I got into.
Yeah.
On Thursday during the primetime hearing, the shares will increase. And then I'm going to bail on Thursday night because then I can like break even.
So this is a classic buy low, sell high.
Yes, correct. Yes, classic buy low, sell high.
Buy low, sell high.
I didn't buy low enough in the first place, but then when it gets high on Thursday night, I can jump out.
Oh, so this is a buy high, sell high.
It's a buy high, sell, break even.
So like nothing ever happened.
Yes.
That's fun.
Yes. Because on the last week's hearing, I was like only $2 deficit.
Yeah.
So I could have like jumped out and only lost $2.
Yeah.
But I think primetime hearing, it'll be like at least break even. That's what I'm thinking.
Predicted, if you're not familiar with it, you can bet on political outcomes, but it used to be, I think I remember those guys saying, David and John, who host the Election Profit Makers podcast, that it's not as wild as it used to be. Like it used to be, you could bet on certain words being in the State of the Union address and stuff like that. And I don't think it's quite that.
They tighten the belt.
Yeah.
They tighten the belt.
Yeah. Well, they tighten the ship a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I got in because I was like so convinced. And then I started like, because I'm so deep, like I'm listening to all these like legal scholars and like reading this and that and like Lawrence Tribe and this and that. And I was like, oh, this is like a lot more complicated than Twitter made it out to be.
That's weird.
Because like I follow, or
is this the first time that's happened?
Yeah, I just like follow and like see people on Twitter that are like, he's guilty, charge him. And I'm like, yeah, I think that too. And then when I like actually, people who actually went to school for this stuff or worked in the government or study the Constitution, I'm like, oh, the people that I follow on Twitter saying this stuff are dumb. They're like stupid. I don't think I'm supposed to use that word anymore because it can be ableist.
Oh, these people are stupid.
Stupid.
Oh, I see.
They're dumb. Or they're stupid. Sorry. Because they're just like, oh, this is how they sound. And I don't know how I have all these people in my feed, and I wish I could just like unfollow all my feed and start from scratch and have like a totally new, fresh feed. But I followed too many people over like 15 years or whatever, and so it would take me like so long to do that. But I want to do it one day. But like they're like, I mean, Merrick Garland ain't doing nothing. He's just sitting there not doing nothing. I can't believe it. This is just bullshit. He ain't doing nothing. And I'm like, dude, how do you fucking know? Like, no, like, you know? Right. And like, part of me is like a little like falling for it. And I'm like, oh my God, he's not doing anything. Like, I'm like falling for it. And I'm like, oh my God, no, there's like so much energy, like gearing up toward all of this stuff.
Yeah.
That it's literally like, if he's doing nothing, that would be like fucking crazy.
Well, and also anything
crazy
legal, there's not a lot of broadcasting of what you're doing.
Okay, so that's the other thing is like, so I guess like last week, so Cassidy Hutchinson, she testified and she was like, yeah, like Trump was like saying like, oh yeah, the guy, the sniper in the tree, leave him there and let all the people with the guns in. And they're like, we can't let people with guns around you. You're like a fucking president. And he's like, oh yeah, but they're not here to hurt me. So, you know, fuck all y'all. They're not here to hurt me or whatever. And and then I guess like the DOJ was like, we're totally shocked. Like we had no idea. Like there's Cassidy Hutchinson person said this or that. And then there are like some people that actually worked at the DOJ and they're like, there is actually sometimes, they're not saying this is the case or not, that they're like sometimes like there is a strategy of like looking really stupid. That's not what they say.
But
they're
to
not
lull
saying
them
like,
into a false sense of
they're not saying
something.
like, oh, the strategy is to look really stupid.
Yeah.
But they're saying like their strategy is like to give nothing away, like like to give, not just not give nothing away, to give the illusion that they wouldn't dare.
Right.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then you're not like, because like Mark Meadows is sitting there burning documents. Okay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like burning, like they want them to think that they can get away with it because they're, you know, and then once they're done with the sort of covert stuff, then they start with the overt. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't believe that they're doing nothing. Like I believe that they see what's going on.
I don't think that they're doing nothing. I think that the hearings are proof that they're building, you know, they're trying to build a case here.
Sure, but that's separate from DOJ. That's separate.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
But
they're completely separate?
Yeah, they are. So basically the hearings are like this one thing, which is this public thing about government. And DOJ is separate from all of it because it's like the law of the land.
Right.
So like if I'm running the Department of Justice, like I'm setting the tone of what law and order is in the United States. And right now we're in a bit kind of like a bad point in history because we have a lot of this like domestic terror stuff and like mass shootings and there's all of this like legislation where it's sort of like allowing all this stuff to flourish, kind of a thing. And so if I'm like the head of DOJ, like I'm going to like their whole thing is the law of the land, but the like Congress is about guardrails, like legislation. So they want to come out of this like setting guardrails for democracy, but they can't do anything. They can do nothing like legally.
Right.
That's not as like, however, like DOJ asked for everything that they had. And they're like watching it.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, if there's evidence, then they can they can act.
They can act, yes. And technically, the committee could refer a criminal charge. They could say like it is our recommendation. Like if they like assess what the guardrails on democracy are, and it leads to like charging the ex-president for doing this, then they can do that. They can say that.
Right.
But not everyone on the committee is like minded, you see.
Oh, I do see.
Because some people on the committee are like more conservative. You know? But I also like, they also all know and have seen everything. And so they know what happened.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a really wild thing that we're witnessing. We're witnessing a very wild thing.
For sure. For sure. And it's not going to end well.
I don't think it can end well because somebody committed a crime on us.
Yeah, but that's not what I mean.
Oh, like either way, it's like half the people are going to be like a lot of people are going to be upset.
There's going to be bad stuff happening.
But that's like anything right now.
Yeah.
Because the country is so divided.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
I think the best way to keep the country, like to unify the country is like kind of like go back to more basics. Like right now they're letting all this religion stuff into the law, like with the abortion and the prayer and everything.
I think
but they can't let that in. That's bad news.
We're too far gone now. We're too far gone. Let's take a break because I don't want to get really down.
Oh, people liked when you got really fired up in last.
I know, but I'm not. This is not going to be me being fired up. This is going to be me being very pessimistic and beaten down.
A nub.
I'm back to being a nub.
Let's unnub.
Look, we're going to take a break, read some ads. Surely that will unnub me. All right,
listen, it's all gonna be okay because we have each other.
That's true, honey. I love you.
I love you.
We'll be right back.
Feels. You're truly outrageous. You're truly outrageous. Feels is a better way to feel better. What is Feels? Well, it's premium CBD. It'll keep your head clear and help you feel your best. CBD has been proven to greatly reduce all that stuff we were just talking about, anxiety, pain, and sleeplessness. Navigating the world of CBD can be complicated unless you're using Feels. Because Feels makes the process simple so you can start feeling better sooner. So if you're new to CBD, Feels, F-E-A-L-S, Feels, like for reals, only Feels, like for reals, F-E-A-L-S, offers a free CBD hotline to help guide you through the discovery process. I like hotlines because like also like if you're feeling a little lonely or chatty, like you can use a good hotline. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you know CBD is right for you, you can get a hassle-free membership program guaranteed to help you feel your best month after month or your money back. It's that simple. It's shipped direct to your doorstep in only a few days. Feels, F-E-A-L-S, is the new natural healthy way to feel better. Feels is premium CBD delivered directly to your doorstep. Feels naturally helps you reduce stress, anxiety, pain, and sleeplessness. So you place a few drops of Feels under your tongue. It's like a tincture, and it comes in this really cute and beautiful packaging, like a beautiful peach little bottle that looks like a perfume, like design or something like that, but it's not perfume, it's Feels CBD. You place a few drops under your tongue and you feel the difference within minutes. If you're new to CBD, Feels offers a free CBD hotline to help guide your personal experience. Feels works naturally to help you feel better. There's no hangover or addiction. You can join the Feels community. You get Feels delivered to your door every month. You save money every time. So I personally have used Feels, and I've loved the way it has calmed me down during this crazy time we're living in. So please become a member and get 50% off your first order with our special promo code HOMEKINS. Go to feels.com, use promo code HOMEKINS, and get 50% off. That's feels.com, promo code HOMEKINS, FEALS.com. Thank you, Feels. We love you.
Feels.
Listen, we just talked about therapy.
Yeah.
We both do therapy.
Yeah.
Well, I do therapy. You've done therapy. You're going to do therapy.
Yes, it's very helpful.
So let us get to our next sponsor called BetterHelp. We are obviously in a very overwhelming time.
Clearly.
A lot of people feel burned out. Symptoms
I'm one of them.
are lack of motivation, feeling helpless or trapped, detachment, fatigue, and more.
Seems familiar.
So my personal experience with burnout, like I think I was saying earlier on the podcast, is I'm having trouble getting in touch with my creative side because I don't have space or the bandwidth to deal with all of this modern time, all this information that comes at us all of the time. I don't think we were meant to know everything bad that was happening in every corner of the world 24/7. But here we are, we're living in this time, and it's very difficult to balance and navigate living in the modern time, but also getting in touch with just yourself and your own personal world or village, shall you say. So, BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to prioritize yourself. Talking with someone can help you figure out what's causing stress in your life. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Stay If Homekins listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/homekins. That's betterhelp.com/homekins. So please take care of yourselves, take care of yourself, prioritize your mental health, and, sometimes it's okay to tune out everything bad that's going on in the world so you can have good things going on in your own world. Thank you, BetterHelp.
Green Chef, Le Chef Verde, right? I don't know. Green Chef, we are proud to have you as a sponsor. For everyone else, what is Green Chef? Let me tell you. I'll stop talking to Green Chef and start talking about them. Green Chef is a CCOF certified meal kit company that makes eating well easy with plans to fit every lifestyle. Whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals, Green Chef offers a range of recipes to suit your preferences. Green Chef now offers more variety and flexibility than ever before with double the choices. That's twice as many. Now you can choose from all 24 recipes weekly with the option to mix and match meals from different preferences. For example, enjoy vegan one day, keto the next. Do members of your household eat differently? This is me asking you. Now you can order meals to suit every lifestyle in your household. Vegan, vegetarian, keto, and paleo. Mediterranean, fast and fit, gluten-free, all in one dang box. Forgive my language. Exciting and delicious meals support a healthy lifestyle, and Green Chef keeps mealtime interesting without sacrificing taste. I almost said text. They do sacrifice text. Green Chef's expert chefs curate every recipe so you can enjoy restaurant-quality dishes at home without compromising flavor. We have had Green Chef meals delivered to our home. We love them.
We just had that Southwest
The Southwest chicken pasta was delicious, but you could get steak and butternut squash salad. You could get green pea falafel with tahini, salmon with fattoush salad. These are exciting sounding things. What?
They also sent us the lamb meatballs.
The lamb meatballs were delicious. See? Do you see the variety? With seasonal produce, premium proteins, and organic ingredients you can trust, Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. With Green Chef, you can expect elevated fare of a consistent top-notch quality, featuring premium ingredients and sustainably sourced produce. Did I say sustainable? Yes, I did. Green Chef is the most sustainable meal kit and the only meal kit that is both carbon and plastic offset. They offset 100% of their carbon footprint as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. With Green Chef, you're reducing your food waste by at least 25% versus grocery shopping. I am calling you to action. Go to greenchef.com/homekins135. Well, don't shake over the code. Go to greenchef.com/homekins135 and use code homekins135 to get $135 off across 5 boxes plus free shipping on your first box. greenchef.com/homekins135. Use the code homekins135 to get $135 off across 5 boxes plus free shipping on your first box. Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well. We're talking about what has been going on lately, because we've gotten to do some fun things lately. I got to do Miracle Workers again. I don't know if I had done that by the last time we talked.
Yeah, I can't get, this once a month thing. Part of me wishes we did it. We were back on the old schedule.
Really? Every week?
But I understand that's not doable in our new form of living. In fact, I saw our friend Casey yesterday. Our friend Casey.
Had a lovely time with Casey.
Casey co-hosts. What's Busy's podcast?
Busy Phillips is doing her best.
Yeah. She's a co-host of that podcast. Friends of the pod.
Safe to say.
Friends of life. Friends of the pod.
If you're our friend in life, you're a friend of our podcast. You hate it.
But we were on their podcast before and stuff. So
yes.
Anyway, so I saw Casey and she was like, "Why are you guys doing once a month again?" And I was like trying to explain it. And I was like, it sounds weird when you try to explain it in a way.
Well, try to explain it to me.
Because I was like, is this really true? Well, that one, we're not home every Friday night anymore.
Yes.
Which is when we record.
Yes.
Number 2, that you, now that you're back on your Freedom schedule and Neighborhood Listen and all your other little guest podcasts that you say yes to, that sometimes you don't have it's oversaturation of the market.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It's exhausting.
But also Freedom is a conversation podcast and our podcast is a conversation podcast.
Yeah.
So you can't always keep track of everything you say. And you did repeat a story on it, but then everyone who listens to Freedom and Stay Homekins were like, yeah, Paul did tell the story twice. The story was told twice, but it didn't matter. I liked that it was different on each one. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of leeway that fans give us, which is very kind and sweet and everything. But it was sort of and then at what point are we cannibalizing our lives for content? Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Well,
I already cannibalized my life online, but not that much, really.
Of course we do, to a certain extent.
Degree, yeah.
But I was talking to my friend. I had lunch with my friend Mandel Mon yesterday. We were co-stars on Bajillion Dollar Properties.
And she's on the Resident Alien show. Yes. She's a very talented comedic actress.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's terrific. And we haven't seen each other in a while. And it was nice. We got all caught up and everything. But she was saying, because I was talking about stand-up and I'm trying to put material together again.
Yes.
And, part of it is doing stand-up is that you need to live life so you can have experiences.
Right.
So you can talk about them.
Definitely that.
To provoke thought, and then that's where you create material.
Yes.
And there is with something like this, because it's conversation, it's not crafted.
Right.
So we can talk about our day. We can talk about whatever happened.
Yeah.
But we also need to do things to talk about,
and we do within a month, but it's hard to remember everything. That's why I'm saying the frequency of it we were able to kind of be fresher with like, what did we talk about?
It's easier at the end of a week to say, here's what happened this week.
Yes.
Than at the beginning of a month to say, here's what happened last month.
Exactly.
But also here's the thing. With all the other podcasts that I do and all the live shows and stuff like that, there is part of me that would love to do this show every week.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I like doing it.
Yeah, it's fun to do it.
It's when it's an obligation. It makes it harder to always be in the mood for it.
Right.
Because it's just the two of us, and we spend a lot of time together. And it's like, what are we going to talk about?
And this is like our date night or whatever.
And it feels different than if I go to record with Scott and Lauren. That's my friends. That's my opportunity to see them.
Yeah.
When I might not otherwise see them that often.
I get that.
And also, we're being funny.
Yes.
We're not just being ourselves.
No, I know. You guys do like little bits and stuff.
Yes, and there's three of us, so it makes it easier to keep the conversation going. Whereas it can feel like work to be on a mic with one other person, no matter who that person is, and to keep a conversation going, keep it interesting, blah, blah, blah.
Right, like we don't take callers. Although that would be amazing. That would be the only thing I would like. Like, I would transition from this podcast to a weekly radio show where we took callers.
Like live calls or call?
Well, yeah, like Dan Abrams. I listen to Dan Abrams all the time, and he takes callers.
Oh, my God. We'd have to set up like a special
You have to have a
line.
producer who fields the calls.
But what number are they calling?
Like, I'm saying if we got like a serious show. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm not saying a podcast version. I'm saying like if we had like a live radio show,
Right.
I would do that. That would be fun. A little freewheeling,
You're not afraid we get Baba Booeyed all the time?
I don't know what that means, but no.
You don't know it? You have an idea what it means, right?
No.
It doesn't sound familiar to
Is
you?
it a Howard Stern thing?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like a Howard Stern person, but like I do like live radio in terms of the immediacy of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's something I like about that.
Mm-hmm.
But so just like back to our podcast and like how often we're doing it. We remember how we titrated and we did like twice a month.
I don't remember that. Did we do that?
Yeah, we did twice a month and then went down to once a month.
Right.
I almost like that. I thought the twice a month was a little better. The once a month feels like, I don't know, like our listeners are still hanging in with us, which is very nice. And we appreciate it.
I guess
the twice a month was a little bit better, maybe.
The thing is, like, if we do it, I want to be in the mood to do it when we're doing it, as opposed to, oh man, we have to do this. And that's easier with monthly.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then it makes me fonder for it. Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
The thing about the thing like about the whole podcasting thing too is like when Casey asked me that, like I felt very like there was like I had like a personality crisis because I was like well, the podcast was born out of the pandemic. Our podcast, Stayfhomekins.
Yeah.
And I've never been, even though I had like a silly little podcast before, like with my friend Erin, it's not even up anymore. It was just like for fun. And I've been struggling with this anyway, like this personality crisis stuff, because I've never, like for you, you're a comedian. And for you, like you're like, I'm Paul F. Tompkins and this is me and this is my point of view. And my point of view is valuable because I'm Paul F. Tompkins and I'm a comedian and I'm staking a claim in being a comedian. And I like, in a way, like I've been like I never aspired to that.
To be a personality in that way.
To never be a personality in that way. Yeah. Like everything, and this is what I was telling you the other day because I was talking about burnout, which is funny that we're talking about this because it was part of our conversation before. But like everything, somehow I have found myself in this place as a creative person where I have spread myself thin in a way that was never my intention to do.
Yeah.
Because everything I've ever done, like my whole passion and my whole goal as an actor has always been from day one, like even like after theater school, like after I moved from New York to here and I was honest with myself, was I always just wanted to be on a television series. That was it. My goal was I wanted to be on a television series. I love television. I wanted to audition for television and I wanted to be part of like the television machine as a artist and storyteller. And I never wanted to be a star and I never wanted to be like a name. I just wanted to be like a journeyman actor that worked in television, period. Yeah. And I had so many obstacles to that I started branching out in service of that goal. Like the only reason I auditioned for commercials is so I could pay my bills so I could get out of table waiting. The only reason I then like got voiceover opportunity or agent is so I could add like more opportunity so I could pay my bills and get out of table waiting and possibly get an agent so I could audition for television series. Yeah. And it took me so long to even get any representation for that. And then it like, they were like, the game has changed. You have to start writing. You have to start generating this, you know? And then I trained as a theater actor. So I did theater also. Like I just did all these other things. And then the podcasting thing came along for whatever reason. And now it's like, well, now I'm like a writer, a podcaster, a voiceover. Like all I've ever wanted to do is be on a series and I can never get the thing that I wanted. And podcasting, even though I love it and I love listening to podcasts and I love that we have this, you know, I love it.
Yeah.
But I don't aspire to be like Joe Rogan. Do you know what I'm saying?
Nor do I. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
But do you know what I'm saying?
Of course I do. Of course I do. Yeah.
So like I feel so like conflicted all the time about it. And like I never meant to put myself out there in this way. And it was like daunting even when we first started because like we did open the lines. We were like, here's our Gmail, here's this. And I was like doing all the producing on it. And it was like people with podcasts, like they think they can say anything they want to you. Yeah, it's like weird. But like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess this conversation is all about like, how often do we do this? What are we doing? You know, like it is a different thing that we're doing it once a month. Because we titrated down to this. We did it twice a month and then we went down to once a month.
Yeah.
And it's part of like why I'm tired.
You're tired because
there's so many things.
Yeah. There are so many things.
And it's hard to remember. And like you were saying, like we could talk about things that we did in the interim. And I did get to work on a TV show. That was the whole thing that you wanted me to bring up. But like I did bring it up because I was talking to Casey about it and it made me.
Right. Well, it's not that I wanted you to bring it up. It's that I said, is this something we can talk about?
I think we can talk. I think we're allowed to talk about it. I do think we're allowed to talk about it because no one told me not to.
Right, yeah. Do you want me to broach the subject?
I was very fortunate and all my hundreds of audition tapes that went into the void.
Yes.
I booked a character on an episode of the new, which I didn't even know was happening. Until like I got the audition that they are doing a new Night Court. Yeah. Which is kind of exciting because that show is like iconic, you know? And so I got to work on Night Court last week and it was, and by the way, one of the stand-ins, Sean, who I met, he was like, I just want to let you know, my wife and I listen to Stay Home. And I was like, what? I was so like hilariously he was so kind, by the way. Very sweet. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. Because the whole experience was weird because, you know, COVID, like you're in masks, you're isolated, this, that, and the other, and, you know, whatever. But yeah, like I got to work, you know, it was kind of like a dream job for 1 week. When I say 1 week, I mean 3 days out of the week. Yeah.
This was your first time acting on a multicam, right?
Yes. And the last time I had probably been on a multicam set was when I was background on Friends. The last 2 seasons of Friends. And you know what's so funny is like I did that job on Friends. And in my mind, I was like, this is the best training ever. I don't need to pay for classes because I'm watching these these actors at at the top of their game, you know? And they were at the top of their game on the final 2 seasons of Friends, which I didn't watch that show, by the way. But, like, I think those actors are very skilled comedic actors, you know? And then but then, like, that was, like, what? Like, in 2002? And this is 2020. That's 20 years ago. And so, and COVID has happened.
Yeah.
Not only that, it was 20 years ago and COVID has happened. And so it was a completely different experience of being on like a sound stage. And it was at Warner Brothers, the exact same place where they shot Friends. In fact, on one of my lunch breaks, I walked around and I walked by stage 24 where they shot Friends. And I walked like by the Starbucks and like the comments and like in front of the Starbucks where they like all the trees were like 20 years bigger. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they'd really built up like part of Warner Brothers in the 20-year interim with like wild sets. Like I walked like on a part of Warner Brothers that I think it used to look like Desperate Housewives or something. And now it looks like DC and like pillars and like I had a really wild, weird like experience. Oh my God, it's double cuckoo.
Cuckoo.
I didn't tell you about this because just like, you know, I was just like trying to navigate like not fucking up my part, you know, because they kept changing the scripts and like the jokes. And I was like, oh my God, like, did I fuck this up? Like, did I fuck this joke up? Is that why it's changed? But that's not really why. But
no, it's, and you know, and I was
it's the process.
Because I had done multicam a lot. And, you know, that's just the nature of it. It changes throughout the week. They hear the jokes. They don't like them or they got to tighten things, you know, and so it changes a lot.
This, by the way, this was like a dream set because everyone was so nice. They were so lovely. Melissa Rauch is starring in this. You know Melissa Rauch because you worked with Melissa on
Best Week Ever
back in the day. And you had her on your variety show, and I think I was in the same sketch.
Yes.
Because Melissa and I were talking, we're like, wait, were we in the sketch? We were like... We got to be in the sketch, like, because it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
We were trying to remember.
Yeah.
By the way, Melissa Rauch, first of all, is adorable, number one. Number two, fucking hilarious. Like, amazing comedic instincts.
She's terrific.
Number three, might be, like, the nicest, sweetest human being that... like the most like down to earth, like a normal. I mean, this is someone who probably like because like after Best Week Ever, didn't she go on to have like a lot of success on that Bang Theory?
Yeah, Big Bang Theory. Yeah,
yeah.
She's a recurring character on that.
Yeah, that was like a hugely popular show that like went on for like a long time, and you know, and I don't know, like she's a very down to earth person that doesn't seem like somebody that went through an experience that could have like made her snooty or something. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. She made a very funny movie called The Bronze, which is about an Olympic gymnast who, you know, comes in third in the Olympics and what her life is like after that.
Yes.
And it features, I think, the funniest sex scene that I've ever seen.
I don't think I've seen this film because I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Is she in the sex scene?
Yeah. She's the lead in it. It's a really funny movie. She's hilarious in it.
No, she's amazing.
Yeah, but there's some really imaginative, fun things in it.
She was a dream, and like I got to meet John Larroquette, and that was because my scene was. I don't want to talk about it because don't know what I'm allowed to talk about. Like,
right.
But I want to talk about the show only because I want people to know that it's coming out, that they did this reboot of it or reigniting of it or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, because it's
kind of like a sequel series. Like,
yeah.
Because John Larroquette is playing the same character. That he played on the original Night Court, and Melissa plays
I think she plays
Harry Anderson's daughter.
I think so, yes. Like that she's connected to the original. Yes.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I didn't even know this was happening. You know, like it's going to be on NBC. I think it's debuting in the new year. I hope it does really well. I thought the writing was really funny. I really did. I thought the episode I got to do was really funny, and I was asking other crew about it, and they were like, "Oh, some of the episodes are like so fucking funny," you know.
That's great to hear.
And I was like, "Wow, is this like the revival of kind of like nostalgia? Because we've had nostalgia in streamer stuff, right? Like,
oh yeah,
Stranger Things is like a nostalgia. I don't watch Stranger Things, but I know people like the nostalgia of like the Gen X coming of age stuff and everything. Yeah. And they've rebooted like Full House and things
on Netflix.
Yeah. But this is almost like, has there been stuff with like multicam? Because Full House was a multicam.
Yeah.
Did they reboot that as a? Of course they did as a multicam, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a reboot. It was like the Night Court thing, where it was the same characters but in the
later.
present.
Later.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I just wanted to do well. Obviously, I had such an amazing time working on it, and I feel lucky because I've done so many auditions. I just did so many auditions. And it was like, and this was the, like, what was so funny about this one was like, I got it at noon. It was due before 5 p.m. Right. I was supposed to meet my friend Catherine. We were going to write.
One of the hosts of 3 Minute Review podcast.
Yes, 3 Minute Review. By the way, I saw Catherine and Mike. They were at your variety show and we had dinner together before. And they were like, what if we had like a little crossover and you were on 3 Minute Review? And I was like,
because they've had other people on there.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm like, whip out your microphone. But then the food came, like, I don't know what happened, but I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I would do it.
Oh, wait. Was I invited as
I'm
well?
sure we could do it because spoiler alert, they live like down the street from
blocks
us.
Away.
Yeah,
blocks away.
They live down the street from us, which I never want her to move, but that's like a whole other story. But like, anyway, so I was supposed to meet Catherine for like we were gonna write, and I was like, I got this last minute audition, and I don't want to ask Paul to read it with me because he's busy, and it's. Just,
I wasn't even here, right? Like, where was I? I know I wasn't home.
At one point I said, if you don't leave in the next 10 minutes,
right,
like you're going
I may press you into service.
Yeah, you're going to get roped into this. And I knew you had like a busy day. And Catherine was like, no, I was like, listen, I swear I can bang this out in 15 minutes. I know I can. And she she directed me, by the way. And I was like, you should be a director. And she's like, I'm not kidding. Like I have like secret design. She's a television writer. She's like a writer.
Yeah.
And she's like, I have like secret designs. And I was like, oh, like you could totally direct. Because she gave me like one adjustment and I was like, yeah, that's the scene. That's the thing, you know? And then, so I had to send it by 5. And then by like the next day, they were like, yeah, you're working on Monday or whatever. It was like a thing. Like in a way,
it's a big deal because look,
happy about that.
The way things are right now, it used to be that you get an audition, you go to a place where they are, the people that are potentially going to give you the job.
Yeah.
And you sit in a waiting room with other people that maybe you know or don't know, whatever. And you're in a room with, you know, when you do the audition,
you see your competition.
But then
that's your community,
when you're doing
by
the
way.
audition,
your community and your competition.
Yes. And then when you're in the audition, you're doing it with a live person. It's a real person. It feels professional.
Yeah.
You know, and then because of quarantine, everything went to self-tape.
Yeah.
And it's still there. And
I think it feels forever. I think it'll never go away.
I can't see it coming back because I'm sure it's easier for them.
Because people live everywhere different now.
Yeah. But that's not the reason. The reason is because now we have to do it ourselves and send it in.
Well, and also like they can get more choices.
They can get more choices.
If it's a live day, like they might only be able to see 20 people in one day just based on like their schedule.
Yeah.
But if they're like, we want to see 50 tapes they can send that out and watch and fast forward.
I think that's too many tapes, by the way. But
it is. But
so here's what I'm saying is that we've been doing these self tapes, sending them out into what feels like the void.
Yeah,
you never hear anything back.
Nothing.
And then so for you to get something, to book something, not only from a self tape but for a network show is that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of like. And what was so funny is I had sent in 3 auditions the day before, 3 days before or whatever. And so I was still hung up on I wonder if I'm going to hear back from this show or this show. And then this thing came in and it was the same day. In a way, probably the fast turnaround of it helped.
Yeah.
They probably could only request so many people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I had my first callback over Zoom.
Yeah, I know.
I hadn't had a callback in a long time. And it was
by the way,
weird.
I haven't let that go because they haven't.
I know.
They haven't cast the project yet.
It was for
I haven't let it go.
One of the series regulars. I don't think it's happening. For me, but
it ain't over till it's over.
But I felt it was an audition that I felt good about. Sent the tape in, and then they said they want to see you. The producers and everything. And
the director.
Yeah. And so I'm in my little office.
It's a Zoom. Yeah.
And I felt more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Being in a place where I am every day.
Alone.
I was so aware of where the microphone was, where my body was, where I was in the frame and all that shit. And I think I did a good job. I would do it. They gave me notes. I would make the adjustments and do it again. And then they would say, just so you know, we turned our sound off, but we're laughing. It was so good and everything. They're being very complimentary.
Yeah, yeah.
But I thought of it later. I was why did you don't turn your sound off?
Well, because they didn't want to distract you.
Yeah, I know. But it's trust me, I won't be distracted.
I just realized something is you should have asked if you could let me read with you for that. Off camera.
Oh. Well, one of them read
camera.
with me.
No, I know, but
yeah,
it might have been more alive if I was off.
Maybe, yeah,
behind the laptop.
Maybe,
maybe,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You just wanted to get back in there.
Okay, full disclosure, guys. I actually was requested to audition for the wife of this part.
We read for husband and wife roles.
Husband and wife roles. And by the way, I was there's no way I'm going to get a callback for this. And I didn't. But also,
your audition was great.
Your audition was so good. But also, because I was familiar with the material, I think it could have been more alive if I had been behind that. We didn't think to ask that.
No, we sure didn't.
We didn't think to ask that.
We sure did not.
And I wasn't trying, I wasn't saying so I could horn in.
I know, honey. I'm kidding.
But just so you're not looking at the computer.
Yeah.
If I'm standing behind the computer, you're looking at a real person.
Yeah.
And I could react to, if you were doing weird ad libs or whatever.
Yeah.
I still think they would be stupid not to cast you in the part. It's such a funny script, by the way.
It was funny, yeah. There's a lot of funny stuff in it.
Yeah. And they still haven't cast it. We can't probably talk about it until it's done.
Do you know that they still haven't cast it? Did you check recently?
Well, didn't you just hear before the holiday they're still at a stalemate and then the holiday happened? I just can't imagine they would
I feel that was even before.
Then you should ask your agent on Monday and see if they have, because you need to tell me so I'm not thinking about it anymore.
Fair enough, because I have stopped thinking about it. So yes, I understand.
I'm literally oh my God, this part would be such a great showcase for Paul. It would bring him.
Because it's a show that's committed to series, and it is one of those things that could be
a great job,
permanently life-changing or briefly life-changing, and either way it would be great. It would be a great job, because me too, I want to be on a series, I would love to just go to the same place. Wait, is that
really your same dream? Do you have the same dream as me?
Yeah.
Because my dream has always been that dream, and I have never been able to achieve it, but I'm not giving up because it can happen at any point.
And you're
as an actor, it's not like being a dancer.
Yeah.
When you're a dancer, you have to pivot, because physically, or an athlete
Yes.
or something,
Yeah.
because your body can sort of break down on you.
Yeah.
But as an actor or a painter or a writer per se, those are certain art forms where like your wisdom sometimes can even be an asset, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to denigrate athletes or dancers. It's just
that's why they go into like coaching or choreography, because that's where their wisdom is the asset.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although some dancers get to dance really old, like Baryshnikov or like, you know, or like Misty
Elliott?
No,
Misty
Copeland has done well, like sort of like advertising, like being a dancer and what it's like to be different as you know, and like older but like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, my point is as an actor, you can't give up. Like you have to sort of stay.
Yeah. You never know. You just never know.
You have to stay in the game.
Yeah, it's an unpredictable business, and you know, what I would love to be on a series so I could have that to plan other things around, as opposed to constantly looking at a calendar and trying to figure out the 500 different things that I'm going to do. You know,
I just want to be on a series because as coming from theater, like I like the collaborative,
it's fun.
Like team nature of it.
Yeah.
And I love television. I think television, I don't think we've reached it hasn't jumped the shark yet. We're still talking about shows. There are still shows that are like, you know, surpassing our expectations.
Yeah. Oh no, there's still good TV.
Oh yeah.
I don't think TV as a medium is going to. I mean, you could argue that the jumping the shark is the billion different platforms that we have right now. You know, where it's just too much. It's just too much.
It's too much,
and it's diminishing returns, because I feel like now there's so much stuff that some of the bigger places are doing things that are not necessarily that good anymore.
Do you know what it's like in a weird way is like inflation? Like how like there's too much, I guess, I don't know, I'm not an economist. Too much currency in the economy, maybe.
It becomes devalued.
Or something. Yeah. And so like the Fed, for example, has to step in and like put all of these like brakes on it, kind of a thing. So like we need this with like television content.
Well, the way that's going to happen is things will collapse. You know what I mean?
How though? Because it seems like they're or like they'll gobble each other up. Like they'll be
for
like,
sure. Yes, it will be more. It'll become more consolidated. This will buy that, and blah blah blah. I mean, I feel like are we eventually moving back to, you know,
Alive.
4 channels,
like
you know what I mean?
like a terrestrial, like a not 4 channels, but it will still be streaming in terms of like it won't be live. Like when we had the 4 channels, everyone watched on the same schedule, right? Streaming, we can watch on any schedule.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I think I guess I mean that it's going to be more consolidated, and it's going to be like, you know, when streamers started doing like, oh, instead of releasing all the episodes at the same time, we're going to release them weekly. And people liked that. You know what I mean? Because
it was
they had something to look forward to.
Yeah, something to look forward
to. You know?
Yeah.
And it's fun. It is fun.
Yeah.
It is fun knowing like, oh, Tuesday we're going to watch this show that we like, you know? So I think that
right now we're enjoying the Only Murders in the Building, which is on Hulu, and it comes out in a schedule. Yeah. And so we're kind of like, oh my gosh, there's a new episode of Only Murders in the Building tonight, and we love it because it's like Steve Martin and Martin Short, which we talked about earlier, but like yeah.
But I also think that it's just not. I lost my thought.
Well, you're saying like what it's going to be. Like, what is it going to be?
Yeah. I just think that this model can't last forever because people can't keep subscribing to a million different platforms.
No.
And the cutthroat nature of, you know, they know that everybody can't subscribe to all of them.
Right.
And so that you can't keep that up forever.
And yet people still keep like introducing new ones.
I know.
And you're like, what?
I know.
And there's still cable model. There's still the cable model with advertisers and news and like football games and baseball games and awards shows and all of that stuff. So I don't know. I don't know. It's so like saturated and flooded. And also, oh, and by the way, this is like inside baseball. Sorry. But like I saw someone and I like retweeted it. It was like a month ago. But I think this is true. And our industry friends, if we have any that listen to this, can tell us that the WGA stuff,
the Writers Guild of America.
Yeah. That contract, like, I think it comes up like next year again. And it's really like the big questions around streaming, because the way the streaming model has worked, and I don't speak well to this, but like if you want to get deep on Twitter, you can follow like Screenwriting Twitter or whatever. But like the way this,
if you want unsolicited advice, definitely follow Screenwriting Twitter.
If you want, like, essentially like the way the streaming model has worked is it has started to like devalue journeyman artists over time.
Yeah.
Not necessarily Shonda Rhimes or Ryan Murphy.
But they're not journeymen anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like if you're Shonda Rhimes or Ryan Murphy, like you're cleaning up.
Right.
Like you're doing well.
Right.
But if you're journeyman and you're like creating shows for people to watch, they're like, the contracts are becoming more and more like there's no stability.
Yeah.
They can't retain you. They don't retain you. They don't like retain your writers.
They're not paying you enough money to do just that.
And what a weird like byproduct of all of this is that I was reading about is that the writers that are coming up in the ranks, they're not learning how to show run.
Right.
So like they all of a sudden they're like put on these shows and they don't know how to do it. That's why some of the content is suffering.
But why are they being, I don't understand the connection. They're not writing long enough to get the experience to showrun, and they're just being made showrunners.
Yes.
And so
I think so, because I think what is happening is they're not writing long enough to showrun, and they're like hopping around from show to show, and they're not like on long running shows where they're apprenticing under these showrunners, because the contracts will expire and then they'll get picked up on another show and then they'll sell something.
Right.
And there's so much content, they have to make showrunners out of people.
Right.
At some point.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah. And so there's this weird, like, sort of brain drain going on because they're trying to save money. Okay.
That's what it always comes back
to. So, like, all this stuff is coming up next year. And someone tweeted, and I actually retweeted it. And they were like, shit's going to hit the fan in 2023 because all of this affects all the other guilds, like the Writers Guild stuff. And they're like, the best way for all of it to get sorted out in a fair compensation way and back to like a sustainable model, as opposed to like freelance here and freelance there and like hopping around and like begging for gigs, is to all go kind of like SAG producers, directors, all like band together and fucking go on strike. Yeah. Like they're like, someone was like basically predicting that it's all going to come to a screeching halt next year. And I thought that sounded to me like, well, of course it is. I mean, of course it's going to come to head. All I see online is like people bitching about trying to be a TV writer, and it's not the same. Yeah. It's not the same trade anymore.
Well,
there's no stability. There's no.
If you're a fan of reality TV, some good times ahead for you.
I thought some of that stuff moved to union.
So they'll figure out a way. Anyway, we should wrap
up. That's how the reality TV boom sort of started in the first place was in 2007.
Yeah. Do you have any? That's what I'm saying. Do you have any recommendations for the world? What?
I love this show. It comes on sometimes. It's called the January 6th Committee. I did just binge a show on Netflix, and I hesitate to recommend it because I think I read that they're taking it off Netflix this month.
Oh my God. Well, you better hurry.
No, I watched it 6 episodes.
No, I'm talking to the audience, to the listeners.
So, like Paget recommended it to me, and I did. I binged all 6. It's called Two Summers. It's like some Dutch show, and it's like a mystery. And I totally binged it. And I was like, this shit is like, one would end, and I'd be like, I have to see the next one, kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I hate to recommend that because I think it's taking it off Netflix.
Well, they got time. This is your warning.
And then other than that, I don't know. Tell me what you're recommending.
I want to recommend RRR, which I really enjoyed.
That's a show?
That was a movie that we watched. The Indian movie.
Oh my God. I totally forgot the name of it. Because the name of it didn't match the movie.
It kind of didn't, yeah. It didn't really come into play.
I forgot we watched that and we really liked it.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Because we talked about it with like Scott and them when we watched, what was that?
Doctor Strange.
We watched Doctor Strange
in the Multiverse of Madness, which I also really enjoyed. It was really fun. It's Sam Raimi directed it, and it starts out. I think I fell
asleep for 5 minutes in it.
Sure, you're allowed. Starts out as a Marvel movie, and then it becomes a Sam Raimi movie, and it's really fun and trippy, and I enjoyed it. And last night we watched Girls Trip. Girls Night Out. What was it called? Girls Trip, which we had never seen. And it was fucking...
I was researching something and I was glad I did.
Yeah,
actually.
It was really funny and really wild. Like that movie's bananas.
I cannot believe I missed that movie because I remember when it came out and I was like, I want to see that movie.
Yeah. And people were saying great things about it, and then it just slipped through the cracks for us.
It was a huge movie.
But it's wild and it's really funny. If you've never seen it, like us, check it out.
Also, like, Tiffany Haddish is
she's so funny.
Adorably funny.
Yeah.
Like... Also, like when I was watching her performance, in my mind, I was filling in, like in my mind, I was like, oh, I bet she's trying to crack up like her co-stars. Like I feel like she was like she would be like, oh, this didn't crack up my co-star, and I'm gonna do this now, and now I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
Like to try to crack them up or something.
Right.
I don't know. Like it was just we should
see if there's a blooper reel out there because I bet it's fun.
It was a really fun movie too because it took place in like New Orleans, and I really enjoy New Orleans. But it had sort of like a celebration of New Orleans side to it.
Absolutely.
Didn't you think?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun.
It was kind of long, weirdly long.
It was long
for what it was.
Yeah. But I don't know.
I didn't mind it.
I didn't mind it either.
We rented
Kept us
it
the whole time.
We rented it because
that was the only way we could see it.
That was the only way we could see it. And I had to see it for a specific reason. But like, yeah. And then are you listening to any like podcasts or anything?
I don't think anything new that I haven't recommended already.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I think we're good. We recommended some stuff. Okay, look, everybody. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next month.
You can email us at stayfhomekins@gmail.com. We've gotten some good emails. There's actually one I need to return an answer to because there was like an ask.
All right. And then we're stayfhomekins on
Twitter
and Instagram.
We're here. Paul's going on a big tour in August. And
yes, Comedy Bang Bang tour in August. Check out and see if we're coming to a town a year. We're hitting a lot of cities, August 1st through the 28th. So check that out. paulftompkins.com/live has all my live dates.
Some people were like, oh my God, because like you specifically weren't doing Seattle because you have an obligation.
I have a personal obligation.
And someone was like, aren't you doing Portland? Like, can't they just go to Portland? People who were upset that you weren't doing Seattle.
Yeah.
Then someone was like, but aren't you doing Portland?
We're doing 2 shows in Portland.
And then they were like, why don't they just fucking take the 2-hour flight to Portland or whatever? And I was like, well, you got to take that up with the Paul F. Tompkins fans.
You figure that out amongst yourselves, everybody.
And then also, like you just did Varietopia at Lodge Room, and that's going to be online, isn't it?
Yes, it's being edited right now, and then it'll be up online, so you can check it out on Vimeo.
I'm so psyched about that because it was actually a really fun show, you sang, I'm not going to say we sang.
A song that was a favorite of yours.
It was a favorite of mine.
I looked at you in the audience.
A lot of people were very excited about it because then we ran into people at the Hollywood Bowl that were like,
"That's right.
Oh my God, we've been singing that song all weekend." And then someone posted about it on Instagram, and the person who wrote the song reposted it. Yeah. So you will have to, once we get all of that up, which is on your Vimeo profile.
Yes.
Once it goes up.
That's correct.
Please keep an eye out for the live Varietopia show.
That's
Check
correct.
out Comedy Bang Bang. And until then, stay safe, stay sane, and stay strong.